is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.
Hello, this is Covert Radio. This is fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my boy. Yeah, this is just a quick update. Covert Radio had to deal with a hot water tank issue the last few days, and that's been consuming me. Or I would have had. I have an unbelievable video for you guys coming up as a continuation. You know, we have a video coming up about what's going on in Chicago. Again, we have a video about the mother who had her 14-year-old son shoot this guy who threw a punch, and they dropped the charges, and now she's suing them for. I've never had so much. What do you call it? Attorney? Where's my attorney? Yeah. Now, what am I supposed to say? Oh, emotional distress. I never had so much emotional distress, emotional distress in my life. And I promise you, she's going to walk away with several $100,000. Why was a 14-year-old in possession of a gun, and why aren't you being held accountable for this? And I've gone over this countless times with Covert Radio of how it seems that when it's a white child with a gun issue, they immediately go after the parents. When it's a black kid with gun issues, crickets, nothing. So, yeah. Anyway, I have that video coming up, but this video about the Titan it just, you think we went deep. We're going to go so much deeper. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And you know, I also want to say to you guys listening right now, you know, honest to God, and I've always known this. There are some very, 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 very smart people that listen to Covert Radio. And a lot of the messages and comments on that last video just mind-blowing. I mean, mind-blowing. So we're going to get into a few comments on that last video when I do the big update. But I'm going to make a prediction, and you're going to see how I tie this into the big video, the big update, I should say. But this is breaking news right here. This is breaking news, and I'm making a prediction, and we're going to do this in time essence so you can see. This is 1 hour ago. Let me play this video.
We are following some breaking news at the moment. The U.S. Coast Guard has just said presumed human remains were recovered from the Titan submersible wreckage. News Nation's Evan Lambert is following the latest. Evan, this just dropped from the Coast Guard. What do we know here?
Yeah, Blake, so we got this update from the Coast Guard about 25 minutes ago. As you said, quote, presumed human remains, they say, were found.
So you see there in the bottom corner, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see that right under the word where it says recovered from. there's a ticker. It says latest headlines, 6:24 Eastern time. And then that clock, it's like, 7:24 Mountain or whatever. So right now, it's going on 8 o'clock for me, 8 p.m. So like I said, this is breaking news within an hour. Because you're going to see why this is so important and why I'm just doing this video really quickly, and it's all going to make sense, but I'm giving you a prediction. Let's finish this. It's only a minute or so long.
Among some of the wreckage of the Titan submersible, we had seen pictures of...
Yeah, they're saying human remains are now being uncovered. So let's take it back 10 seconds.
Among some of the wreckage of the Titan submersible, we had seen pictures of the submersible wreckage today in Canada, offloaded onto shore in Newfoundland, Canada, and now we know, according to the Coast Guard, that human remains were among some of that wreckage. I want to put up the statement, the relevant portion of the statement from the Coast Guard. It says, in part, quote, United States medical professionals will conduct a formal analysis of presumed human remains that have been carefully recovered within the wreckage at the site of the incident. And we do have some of the pictures of the pieces of wreckage offloaded today from a ship in Canada. You can see what appears to be the nose cone, the front of the submersible that surrounds the area that would have been the porthole, also a twisted piece of the hull and some wires, potentially maybe the controls or a portion of the controls of that submersible. But again, really just within the last 20 to 30 minutes, some information that families likely have been waiting on, that human remains were discovered. We had heard from the Coast Guard that they would be especially careful in trying to find that wreckage, to be aware of any remains that were to be found. But we now know that the remains, along with the evidence, will be transported on a U.S. Coast Guard cutter from Canada to the U.S. to be part of this investigation. It's also likely that officials will try to identify the remains. No information about to whom those remains belong, but obviously families likely were waiting for some amount of information regarding their loved ones and any remains that could be recovered. The Coast Guard saying that they did so today. Blake.
Wow, incredible. All right, Evan Lambert live for us.
Okay, so, there you have it. There's no identity. There's no identity at all. The remains, here's the actual raw video from earlier today. And, I could link this video if you guys want to watch it. There's really no sound. You just hear rain drizzle, but, there's the remains that are in Canada. And, here's the part of it. Oh, that's the front little nose. Didn't look imploded to me, but what do I know? There's, let's see here. So this is when they must have discovered that there was remains, because they immediately took the blue tarp out. They started covering it like it's a crime scene. So yeah. Here we go. Boy, I tell you what, whatever this is made of must be impervious to, you know what I mean? Look at this. What is this made of? Is this solid steel? Is this a solid steel block? How come this didn't implode? But, bones and femurs and skulls and everything just, I guess it's, it disintegrated into dust, water dust. So here's my prediction, okay? And just so we can get the most up-to-date info, I'm going to hit refresh. Or actually, let's just search on Google right here. Presumed human remains recovered from Titan. That was everything. So now it's been here's 46 minutes ago. Presumed human remains found in Titan submarine wreckage, U.S. Coast Guard says. 1 hour ago, presumed human remains. Okay, so you can see we're within a 2-hour window. And this quick update is so that I can do this. I'm going to make a prediction. And out of everything Covert Radio has uncovered regarding this Titan submersible, out of everything we're about to go over in the next video, I'm going to make a prediction of whose remains they're going to say these are. You ready? The person that they're going to say whose remains are in that sub is this guy right here. My prediction is it's not going to be the boy or his father. It's not going to be the owner of the company who's he's related to, like, I forget exactly. We're going to cover it in the new video, but like I said before, his wife had her great-great-grandparents were on the original Titanic, and they were immortalized with James Cameron's movie as the old couple laying in the bed. And the owner of the company, OceanGate, is supposedly a descendant of actual signers of the Declaration of Independence. This guy, however, this is the Frenchman. His name is Paul-Henri Nargeolet. I don't know how to talk French. Nargeolet, I don't know. P.H. Nargeolet, something like that. Nargeolet, P.H. Nargeolet. My prediction is he is the one they're going to say his remains were found. And if that's the case, this was murder. And we're going to go over that. I'm going to blow your minds, part 2 of what this is. And there was one comment on, there's a lot of good comments on this last video, but one of them blew my mind and really got me thinking about the potentiality of what they may have planted down there. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, and again, I'm getting off here in a moment, but by the way, on the wires today, for some reason, there's a lot of talk of the internet doomsday now, and I forget what there's like a catchphrase they're using now. I told you September, October, the internet's going down. Well, now they're actually talking about, all of a sudden the sun flares and this and that and the hyperactivity of the sun and this. So sun. Just like another Carrington event, that's what they're going to blame this on. The internet's the grid and the internet, or definitely just the internet, is going to go down because of a quotations Carrington event, which was a solar flare. But yeah, there's a big uptick today. So they're starting really to line everything up. But my prediction is, as of about a little bit after 8:00 p.m., on Wednesday, June the 28th, after this breaking story that they did find remains in the wreckage, Covert Radio is predicting that they will say they are the remains of Paul-Henri Nargeolet. This is Unapologetic Talk Radio. Stay tuned. These next 2 videos are going to be mind-blowing. You guys take care. You have a good day.
This is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.